Three, two, one, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Simon Severino, your host. Are you sick of being the best kept secret in your niche? Are you relying on referrals for clients? Do your social media posts get almost no engagement? Are your competitors grabbing your prospects too often? I got good news. My guest today will help you make your message synonymous with your name. Welcome, everybody, Michelle Mazur. Michelle,
Wow,
what are
I've
your...
never had applause before.
Oh, yeah, we always have applause here. Everybody is excited. And says the guy sitting alone in a room. And Michelle, what are you currently creating?
So I am currently creating, and I am in the very early stages of creating a container where I can really help people who I consider them overlooked experts. So these are people who are amazing at what they do. They get great results for their clients, and nobody really knows who they are. And they're really hard to find when you need that kind of expert to solve your problem. So I want to help overlooked experts get known and hired for the work they do. So right now I'm in the process of creating a community type offer that's going to flood the online business industry with experts. So instead of the people who have the shiny marketing getting all of the attention and all of the clients, it's going to be the people who can really solve your problem. We're going to be out there and making some noise. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm super excited about it.
That's beautiful. What do they need to tell the world more?
Yeah. So with experts, they I mean, you're an expert, so you probably have felt this. Like, what your level of knowledge is like a level 10 on the topic, right? So your thing is about business growth and helping people scale their business. So you have all of this expert knowledge. And what I find experts do is they come in and they're like a level 10. They know everything there is to know, but their clients are at maybe like a 1 or 2 at knowledge in the area. And so what needs to happen for experts is, they think like, okay, well, I'm going to come down to my client's level where they're starting. And then they get down to like a 5 or a 6, and they're still talking over their clients' heads. They're talking about things their clients don't care about, because your clients want to use your expertise to get a result. Your clients don't want to become the expert themselves. And so for me, it's about teaching and helping these people craft messages that actually meet the moment their client is in and builds an argument for their work so that they know what to say in order to get someone's attention, what to say if they need to help them diagnose what problem is going on in their business. What conversations do you say when you are getting people interested in your offer? So that's really what experts need. They need to break their expert bubble and figure out what that message is that's going to really resonate with the people who need them and need their expertise.
And how do we break out of the bubble? Do we need somebody writing it down? Do we do it ourselves? What's the process?
Yeah. I mean, so I will tell you that the number one thing I hear from people is they feel like they should be able to do this themselves. Sometimes they can do it for other people, but there's this idea. It's like, I'm passionate about this. I have spent a good portion of my life, developing the skills and the mastery. So I should be able to communicate the value of the work I do. And what actually ends up happening is they can't do it. They're too close. They're too up in their head. And so when I work with people one on one, or what I talk about in the 3 Word Rebellion book, is the first thing we need to do is get what's in your head onto paper, because we can't create messaging from thoughts and ideas and fragments of sentences that are floating in your head. We have to be able to get them out onto paper and actually see, like, what is it that you stand for? What are you rebelling against? What's the change you want to create? So for me, it's like, yes, get some help and get it out of your head so you can actually deal with it.
I love it. I always have post-its here and I'm always writing stuff out of my head because that's the quickest way I can get stuff
Yeah.
out of my head and see it and restructure it. And I remember one of the big shifts for me in running the business was when I fired myself from operations, and the process was first to get it out of my head. So what is it that we do? If I am not the delivery mechanism, then
Mm-hmm.
what is the process that I can write down and hand over so that I
Yep.
can let go of it and not being the person who delivers
Mm-hmm.
the value. The first step is I have to write it down and I have to hand it over. So my way was
Yes.
videos, so I created videos about that. So what do you see when people realize that and they go, "Oh yeah, you're right. I need to get it out of my head." How can they get started?
Yeah. So I have a framework that I call the 3 Word Rebellion. And your 3 Word Rebellion is a message that encapsulates the change you want to create for your people in just 3 words. So if you think about like Simon Sinek's Start with Why, Mel Robbins, The 5 Second Rule, Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week, all of those are examples of 3 word rebellions. And what the 3 Word Rebellion does for your business is that it's able to capture somebody's attention because it's a little bit different, and it intrigues them. It makes them curious to know more, right? Because you think, start with why. Well, okay, but what's my why? Oh my gosh, I've got to figure this out. I'm going to go read this book. And it's the same with like the 3 Word Rebellion. People often be like, "Ooh, what are my 3 words?" And as soon as we start thinking about somebody else's message, we're hooked. So the process to getting your 3 Word Rebellion is in I do it through free writing, and the book outlines the whole process, but it's really about answering two different sets of questions. The first set of questions is, I think of this as like the easy set, because it's really easy to access what are you rebelling against? What in your industry makes you roll your eyes or ticks you off or just think, oh, I can't believe people are still saying this. That just doesn't work. So you want to document all of that because your 3 Word Rebellion is actually the foil to that. So the second set of questions are about what's the change you want to create in your industry, in society, on a personal level for the clients you work with, and getting all of your ideas out on paper for that, which proves to be a little trickier because people really get stuck in the like, well, how am I going to make this happen? This is so aspirational. I need more people to do this. I don't know what the steps are. And it's not about the how, it's about what if, it's about what is possible. And then from there, it's this unearthing process of taking all of those words and finding the right 3 Word Rebellion for your business and your clients.
I was thinking of three words that stuck. Just do it. Or I'm I'm a triathlete, so I had a swimming vest where there
Mm-hmm.
was a 2X and a U, just 3 letters, but it was actually 2 times U. So basically, when you swim with this vest on, you are twice yourself. And I'm like, oh yeah, it worked, even if it was just 3 letters. you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and what I love about that, it's like it gives you the result. Like you're gonna two x you, right? Like
Instantly,
it's like
yeah.
that's the result. Like you are
Yes.
going to be a better, faster swimmer because you're wearing this vest. And I think that's a great example of a three-word rebellion because these three-word rebellions are all around us. I mean, I first saw them in social movements like Black Lives Matter or Me
Yes.
Too, but you see them in business, just do it, think different. and
Think
in
different.
politics, right? Build back better, make America great again. So these rebellions are around us. And I just feel for like business owners, once they find that three-word rebellion, it gives them such focus on this is the message that I want to make synonymous with my name. This is the thing I want to be known for, and then you just build out all your other messaging around that. And it allows you to be consistent and consistently on message with your marketing, PR, and sales efforts.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
And I have in front of me always this, I call it a flower, because I always think about my brand message. Like I had 3 interviews and podcasts today. That's the script, right? And in the
Uh-huh.
middle, it says double your revenue. 3 words. Three
Mm-hmm.
words. Double
Yep.
your revenue. Double yourself. Yes, the 3x. How long does it take when people work with you? How long does it take to find those 3 words? Is it a matter of months, of days? What's your experience? What are
Yeah.
different journeys?
So it really depends on the person. There are some people where we get into the work and I am reading through their free writing and their three-word rebellion just pops out like a neon sign. It's like, it's right here. This is the message. And I love it when that happens. And I would say it happens for like 5 to 10% of my clients. The rest of the clients, when I'm working with them, it can take us up to a month to really unearth what these 3 words are. So it's like we do the free writing, and then there's usually some follow up because I'm curious about different areas and I want to poke into other places to see what emerges. So it can be, for some people, it's like super easy, it's right there. And other people, we have to do more of that excavating work.
I want to hear some of your success stories and the three words that came out after 1 word from our sponsors. What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com. Are you allowed to share some of the 3 words or the process to getting there from your work?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely can. So, I'll tell you a little bit about my clients, like industry that they're in, and then like what they were looking for, and then what their 3 words did. So, one of my clients who's just she's killing it, quite frankly, with her messaging. She is a registered nutritionist, right? And so, part like her women are older, and everybody, everybody's talking about weight loss, right? Like, oh, I'm older, I'm gaining weight, I want to lose weight. And she was never real comfortable with that message because she knew, like, when people were in the work with her, that it was more than just the weight loss they were
Mhm.
working on. They had a very, they were using food in ways to like numb themselves. but her current
Mm.
message just sounded like every other like weight loss person out there. And what we realized is the big results she gets her clients is this ability to trust themselves. So we came up with the courage to trust. And what I love, it's that three words, right? Like that's what she's delivering. But then we could use it like as a thought starter for like the courage to trust yourself around food, the courage to trust that you're not the problem,
Mm.
the courage to trust that, like you can eat for enjoyment. And yeah, and her name's Cassie Christopher. And for her, like this message gave her such focus. She published a guest blog post, and what ended up happening is like she got really great leads from a guest blog post. All of a sudden, like she was able to easily book clients because they're like, this is what I want. Yes, I'd like to lose weight, but I really want to trust myself around food. It spoke to them deeply. They'd come to the call and they'd be ready to work with her. And like that one blog post, I think she signed up like 6 clients. And that's from like cold traffic. So that's really the power of like the courage to trust. Another favorite one of mine that I talk about in the book is one of my clients, Michelle Evans. She's a marketer and she does funnels, right? Everybody talks about funnels. And she has a different approach to funnels, right? It's not about this persuasion tactics and the manipulation that sometimes can occur in those. For her, there was this core message around you want to build these things because when stuff happens in your life, you still want your business to run. And she had a podcast called The Marketing Funnel Show, which I don't know about you. I don't want to listen to that. It sounds really boring. Even though she's like dynamic and interesting. And so we came up with her 3 word rebellion, which was profit without worry. And when she
Mm.
changed the name of her show to that, her podcast downloads tripled because when people saw profit without worry, they're like, oh, I want that. Like, I worry so much about my business. That is what I want. And how do I get it? Well, you get it by listening to this show. So it's so those are two of my favorite 3 word rebellions.
I love
And
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Profit. More profits, less worried. Yes, it's much
Mhm.
more appealing than come on funnels. Oh, another funnel.
I know, like, but it's yeah, it was that big result of the funnel and being able to get that. And the other thing we were shocked by, we're like, I can't believe nobody's talking about this in this way. Like, so it was just brilliant. It was just such a great, brilliant experience. And then to see that win right after of like her podcast downloads increasing just as like, okay, yep, we're on to it. This is the right direction.
I love it. And we're working with so many technical teams, engineers teams, developers. They're techies, so they're amazing at writing code. They're amazing at building stuff. But when it comes
Hmm.
to getting the message across, it's really tough.
Yeah.
Do you have special processes for tech teams to walk with them through this journey of clarification?
Yeah, not really. I mean, my process is kind of the process, and it's for more of the marketing message versus the internal team communication or communicating to leadership about what tech needs. Because I know that's a big. I work with a lot of people who that is what they do. They help their tech teams actually communicate with leadership, with the marketing, with the sales teams about what's possible. But that's not really what my work is focused on because my work is very much focused on the external message you're presenting to the marketplace.
What are books or podcasts that inspire you?
I listen to a lot of podcasts and read a lot of books. So one of the books that I just read that I really loved was The Gap in the Gain by Benjamin Hardy. And it's really this book talking about how when we're thinking about our goals, we always measure from where we are now to where we want to be. And we're in the gap. We're like, oh, I have so much more to go. And in the book, he makes the argument that you need to look backwards, that you need to measure where you are now against where you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, to really get in the gain and see all the things you've accomplished and how you've grown, and really create from that place of like, whoa, look at all the momentum I have, instead of the, oh, I'm not there yet place. So that book is phenomenal just from like a
I love it.
mindset
Did you
space.
change the way you write down goals?
I really changed the way I reflect. So like I still, I'm still tracking like my revenue goal or my email news subscriber goal. But I also look backwards and it's like, oh, look, I had, this amount of revenue at this point last year and now I'm at this. And it's like, oh, look, like we're making progress here. So it's like a different way to reflect on your progress while still like acknowledging, like you acknowledge like this is where I want to go to, but I think we really get our momentum and our confidence when we see how far we've come.
Hmm. So I'm thinking of weekly dashboards. It might be instead of hitting a dollar number or a, a total number of something, it might be just percentage increase from last week or percentage increase from last month if they measure
Mhm.
monthly.
Yeah, it can be small, it can be large. I mean, even even tracking like how you've developed as a person and thinking about like, oh, how like if something happens, I don't know, like you have a customer who's angry with you for some reason. And maybe at like a year ago that would have been really triggering for you. And now it's like, oh no, I know how to handle this. I have more confidence in handling this and it doesn't impact you. Like that's a huge gain. That's huge growth for you as a business owner.
Totally. And that would be more being grateful for what has adapted, right? For how I grew
Mhm.
on different levels, personal, business, role,
Yeah.
whatever the levels are.
Yeah, and stopping cuz I know for me, I don't want to talk for other people, but I have a real problem celebrating milestones.
Mm.
And, when you do something big, whether it's like you hit your revenue goal, or maybe you write a book, or you get to your 300th episode of your podcast, like that's kind of a big deal. And I feel like a lot of us just sail through it. It's like, oh, yeah, I
Mhm.
did that. Now moving on. And it's like, wait, 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 wait. For me, it's like, it allows me to slow down and be like, yeah, but I didn't have this many podcast episodes 2 years ago, and look at how much I created between then and now. And oh, this book, it didn't even exist. And
Yes,
now
most
it's you
people.
can buy it on Amazon, right? And we
Yes,
fail to like marvel at the things we create because we're like, okay, the book is out and now I want to sell 5,000 copies and then I can feel good about the book. And it's like, no, feel good about the book now. Like you made it out of thin air.
totally. And most people listening are those kind of alpha people like you who just move on to the next. They don't even feel it, including myself. I don't even feel
Mhm.
it. I just move on to the next. Now, episode 400. So, what can we do? Celebrating, having specific rituals, asking our team, hey, I'm not good at celebrating. Can we celebrate this? What would be fun?
Yeah, I do think having an accountability person, like whether it's on your team or it's a business person who just slows you down and says, "Hey, I know you want to talk about the next thing, but can we do this? Oh, like, can we take a moment and pause and really appreciate what we've done?" I know I have friends like this. I mean, I've some of my colleagues, they have team members who do this because it's like, all right, we just achieved this big goal, so now this is what's next. And it's like, hello, can we just revel in the goal that we've achieved for a little bit longer. So I do feel it's like that accountability person who can slow you down, and also just making it a part of the process, your system of like, when we finish something or we do something big, let's take a moment and reflect
Mm.
on it and learn from it and celebrate and marvel at the achievement. So for me, it's like when I finish a big project, then it's like time to sit down and reflect. It's like, okay, I launched this book. Like, what went really well? What was I really happy about? What could have gone better? And what am I celebrating now?
I see teams out there that intentionally do this. They say, okay, we work in sprints, we continue working in sprints, but now we do 5 week intense, and then 1 week is holiday celebration, just enjoying harvesting. So five
Mm-hmm.
weeks intensity, 1 week harvesting, enjoying, relaxing. That is, and similar concept. And others have 11 weeks and 1 week off, and so, or 10 weeks and 2 weeks off, um, for the people who plan in 3 months. So
Mm-hmm.
I see this a great possibility for many teams, both on the micro level, right? Right now, hey, let's do high five before we move to the next agenda point, and also meso and macro, where you say, what about our cycles of work? Is there a space for harvesting, for celebration, for
Mm-hmm.
enjoying what we have
Yeah.
built?
It's so important.
I love it. And so, what's next? Your book. Tell us about your book, and how is it right now unfolding in your world?
Yeah, so the Three Word Rebellion book, it's available wherever you want books. There's an audiobook version of it. And really what I love about the book is that it takes you through the process of creating this one of a kind message, and then it shows you like, all right, now that you have it, what else do you need to actually support becoming known for this message? And the book has been like, it's been fantastic for my business because yes, I am giving you the full process. There are some people who are absolutely able to DIY it, but there's this one chapter in the book that people get to and they're like, I don't do that. I'm going to hire her instead to do that for me. And so it's a great, so the book has done really well. It's still like, it came out in 2019. It's still selling consistently, and it is the number one driver in my business for lead generation, which is fantastic. So I love that it's just out there. It's doing its thing. It's doing what a three word rebellion should do. It takes a life of its own. Other people talk about it. And I even see it in things like people will say, "Oh, I'm in this mastermind and the person leading it really loves your book. She recommended it to us." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Who's this person?" And it's sometimes someone I don't know at all. Like, I've never even heard their name before. And they're like, "Oh, it's so and so. Do you know each other?" And I'm like, "Nope, we sure don't." But it's fun to see that kind of impact, and that other people are using the work in their businesses and to support their clients.
That's so cool. So first step, everybody get the book, The Three Word Rebellion, and then if they want to go deeper, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find me. I'm at drmichellemazur.com, all about how to work with me. My podcast, The Rebel Uprising, lives there. So go there for all the good stuff. If you want to connect with me, the best place to do that is LinkedIn. I'm Dr. Michelle Mazur over there as well.
And people who listen to this, they are into podcasts. So tell us about your podcast. When did you start? What is it about?
Yeah, so the podcast, I'm almost on 300 episodes. So it has been around for a while. It's gone through some iterations. And so right now the podcast is dedicated to helping experts claim their expertise
Mm.
and then be able to communicate it and promote their work. So that's what the focus of the podcast is all about, helping those overlooked experts get known and hired.
I love this. And it's Uprising.
Yes.
Okay, you have one more follower here, and I guess a couple more listening right now. Super cool. Thank you, Michelle, for being here. And the last question is, who should be my next guest?
Ooh, that's a good question. One of my clients that I love, her name is Camille Rapaz, and she does business strategy. So she's like a hardcore business person. And what I love about her business is she talks about taking the risky out of business because she's all about strategic planning, but planning from a point of view of like, what is it that your business really needs? Because I feel on the internet, you're sold a lot of solutions that your business may or may not need, and people don't slow down enough to be like, hey, is that actually going to solve my problem or not? So she's an excellent resource.
Oh, that sounds great. Taking the risk out of business is so important, especially in those days. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes, especially now.
Especially now, right? So, what's your next book?
I don't have any plans for one right now. I'm sure I will write another one, but I'm not. Books are a lot of work.
Yes, they are. But the
So
cool thing
I'm
about,
just going to use this one.
yes, and the cool, same here. And the cool thing about being a podcaster is, you create anyways and you get inspiration all the time. So at some point
Mm.
in the after the next 80 episodes, you might say, wait a moment, there is a red thread here. I have a new book, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah, and I'm open to that, but not quite yet.
I feel you. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom with us. Keep rolling.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to Strategy Sprints.